Hello, I'm Emma, and welcome to week 5 of these art club takeaways. Hasn't the time gone fast? This is exciting. So I'm hoping you've already opened your box, and what you can see inside is that almost everything is circular. It's circular, or it's got a hole in it, or sometimes both. And what we're going to talk about is assembling things. So assembling means putting things together. It's as simple as that. And this is a kind of art that is called assemblage art. I think it might well come from a French word, assemblage. I'm going to say that, but that could be absolutely wrong. Basically, you've got a few different things and a few different ways to join them. And my question to you is, will you make something that hangs this week? So there's a few things that I want to show you. One, very importantly, it's about the safety of the wire. Now I've wrapped this around the neck of a peg and I've put a little bead on there to show you where it is. I need you to be very careful with this wire. So some of you might already know this, but there's no harm in practicing and doing this again. So it's very thin, it's very bendable. It's very easy to cut with your normal scissors, but I want to show you how to do it safely. If you need to cut a piece of wire, let me show you how to do it. So what I want you to do is the place where you want to cut it, I want you to bend, and then I want you to make sure you're holding on to both ends. Now I need to use my other hand, so I'm going to grab my scissors. So be very careful with scissors also. Make sure you don't lift them up whilst they're open. Okay, so there you go. I'm holding this and I've got both ends there. Now with my scissors, I can cut this at the point that I want to cut it, but I must point it and the scissors away from my face. This is what's so very important. Now you're holding both ends to make sure that if one pings off, you're catching it. Very easy to cut. It's very thin. But these two ends, they could be sharp. So you be careful what you do with those, huh? Don't do any pointing or poking yourself with it. There's something else to show you. If you want to join wire, you need to make a cross. So you put one end in front of the other. Now this is about holding still with one hand and moving with the other. So you've got that cross. One end is in front of the other. Now this hand is going to stay totally still and this hand is going to move. And what I'm doing is twisting it. Can you see that? See if that helps. So I've twisted and it's really safe and secure. So that's a way to join wire. Of course, going the other way, this hand stays still and this hand is moving. It untwists and you can use it again. Now, you know me by now. I really like it. If you make something, put it together, experiment with a way of joining, and then perhaps take it apart. Use the materials again, something completely different, or try the same thing but in a slightly different way. See if it holds tighter, see if it stands straighter, see if it hangs looser, whatever it is you're going for. Basically, all we're doing is practicing and exploring with ways to join things, attach things, assemble things. So a couple of other things to say. There are some very natural coloured bits in here. Oh, I've thrown it. Hang on. Oops. So there's some wood. This is called MDF. It's lots of bits of sawdust all squished together. And you could put pens or paint. You could make a very small piece of art all by itself with that. Or you could hang this, perhaps if you're looking to hang. And I've given you this stuff, which is called raffia. I don't know if you've seen this before. But this stuff takes pen very nicely. You could change the colour of that. You can flatten it out with your fingers. But I want to show you how to thread it, because this is quite thick. And some of these holes, whilst they're big, that wouldn't necessarily go through. So two ways. One that we've done before, which is holding your scissors at an angle and cutting the end's gone in my tea. Oh, I'm not happy with that. It's okay, I ferreted it out. You've got a sort of a point there. That might help to thread, but actually it's probably still quite big. So what you can do is, if you put your finger up the middle, you can fold this in half and it already becomes half the size. Now maybe you can do it again. Can you see how I'm folding the end of that raffia? That's quite small now. And now, there we go, look at that. That goes through pretty easily. And because it's kind of big at the bottom, you might find that it goes through very easily indeed. Do you want to practice a knot? Might you use this to hang things from? This way, flat against the wall? Dangling? Could you tie a few things around? Should I show you a knot? Maybe I will. If you take a piece of raffia and you put it underneath, so you're making a U shape. Now all you're doing is crossing one over the other to make a loop. It crosses, and then this goes behind, and then it wants to come in front and through that loop. Can you see? Then you've got two ends to pull. Then do the same thing again. So take one, cross over the other, and then go all the way around it and through the loop and back out. So you've got two ears to pull. There you go. You could hang, oh look, that's still on there. Of course, you can use that knot to tie lots of things. You might want to do a whole big string of things. Can you layer things up? How is it going to work? Okay, so this wire with these on the end, I thought these were still circles, even though actually they're probably globes? Spheres, that's the word, isn't it? This wire is the same. It is sharp. You want to make sure that once you wrap it around, if indeed that's what you're doing, wrapping it around something, the very end tucks in, push it in as tight as you can so that it doesn't stick out and it won't hurt anyone. You can use your scissors on that again, just as well. Okay. So there are interesting things. Some things might be good for standing on a table. You could join them together with wire, or you could add some raffia and make some joins like that. Might you have some tape, perhaps? Or could you think of different ways to use glue to join maybe some of the bits of paper that you might have left over? Might these all add in together? The point of what we're trying to do is not to make a thing. We're not looking for a cat or a house. If that's what you want to do, of course, you can do that. But all I'm asking is that you choose the things that you like the shapes of or the textures of, and you join them together. They might stand up and stick out. They might hang down and go against a wall. Move them around. See which you like next to each other. Maybe two of the, hang on. So these two, are they good next to each other? One on top of each other? Are they good back to back? How will you hang them? Are you going to cut them? Are you going to decide you don't want circles the way I've given you circles? It's totally up to you. Of course, all the things inside this pack, they're for you. They're for you to use in whatever way you want. So if you don't like circles or you're not in a circly kind of mood, cut them, change them, do something different. It's totally up to you. But of course, don't forget to take a photo, to send somebody an email. Don't forget to show a member of your family on a Zoom call or video call. Let them know what you've been doing and how creative you've been. Let them know what was hard, what you found difficult, how that wire worked for you. Raffia, have you ever worked with that before? Let them know. And let me know too. I'd love to hear. It's so brilliant. Your weaving from last week has made my heart sing. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'll see you next week for the very last in this time's Art Club takeaway. Thanks very much.